Hey students, it's me, Mr. McGinn, Principal of Grant Elementary School, and welcome to our first PBIS assembly of the school year. Of course, our assemblies are usually in the cafeteria or on the playground, but this year, because of distance learning, we're here online. As always, though, we'll be talking about the bare necessities. Be respectful, be responsible, teamwork, lead by example, and most important, learn like crazy. We won't be talking about how your behavior in the cafeteria, playground, or even in the restrooms. Although hopefully soon you'll be back at Grand School and we will have an assembly just on those topics. What we will talk about today is classroom behaviors. Classroom behaviors apply whether you're at home or you're here at Grant. And students, one of the things you should always do for school is dress for school. Don't be in your pajamas at home. You need to dress like you're ready to learn. So be responsible, get up on time, be ready for class, dressed appropriately, know what your assignments are, and make sure you get them done. And make sure you're learning like crazy.
Hi, I'm Dr. Ledesma, and I'm reporting live from Colton, California. I have an exciting announcement to make. Have you heard of the word teamwork? Of course you have. It's a word that we used, well, quite often in our community. And you know what? It's something that we did very often while at Grant Elementary. Some of the things included making sure that your classroom environment and that your school environment was clean, waiting your turn or waiting in line, also asking others to join a game or activity, and lastly, ensuring that you reported any issues in the event something popped up. Now, it's really important to practice teamwork while at home. You're probably thinking, Dr. Ledesma, how can I practice teamwork while at home? Guess what? You're in luck, because I myself have been practicing teamwork while at home. And I have some tips and suggestions that you can do while at home. Step 1, log into your meetings on time. And it's also important, maybe you help others log into their meetings. Also submit your homework and your assignments on time, maybe helping others to submit their assignments on time. The next thing, participate in the Q&As, the question and answer opportunities. It's so important to do that. Have a great attitude. So maintaining a really positive attitude is very essential for this environment. Also, keep yourself muted while you're joining a live interaction meeting. Maintain that muted status until you need to talk or you're in a collaboration group. Also, when you are in those collaboration groups, please participate. You have so much good things to share and to contribute to that conversation. Also, encourage others to talk during those times as well. And lastly, keep your camera on. We love seeing your smiling faces. Now that you have those tips, I know that you'll be very successful in exhibiting teamwork. You will be teamwork experts. And I think it's so important to practice those skills, well, every day. You know what, Grizzlies? I have faith in you. I know that you can do this. This is Dr. Ledesma, signing off.
Hello, Grant Grizzlies. And my name is Mrs. Myers, and I'm here to talk to you about how to be responsible. So, a responsible student is one who is doing their best to be a learner. So, learning is our job, and we have some responsibilities that go along with it. So, your teachers teach two different ways through distance learning. And the first one is that we give live lessons. So as a responsible learner, one of the things you can do to make sure that you are learning is to be on time and to come to all your different live sessions when it is your time to be there. And when you're there, pay attention to what you're supposed to be learning. If you are coming into the live lesson and maybe you haven't eaten breakfast yet, or you've got to go to the bathroom, or you're distracted by things that are happening in your house, then the lessons from the live lesson aren't going to stick in your mind. And because the second part of your learning is what you have to do by yourself. Those are your assignments. Making sure that you understand your assignments, what to do and how to do it, is part of your responsibility. And I have down here as number 4, but if when you're in your assignment time and you don't know what you're supposed to be doing, asking for help is part of your responsibility. Nobody knows that you need help unless you ask for it. And so as a super amazing learner, what you need to do is to ask for help. There's that hair that's bugging me. So this is school. It doesn't feel like school because we're at home, right? This is my house. This is my spare bedroom. And I got a little corner of it. And you probably have a little corner of something in your house too, where you have school. And if when you're in that corner that is your school spot, if you're able to have a table to sit at, where you don't have a lot of distractions, I'm lucky that way. I have a table. I'm in a room by myself. I don't have a lot of distractions. I've got a pretty comfortable chair to sit in. So these are the things I have to make school a little easier for me. It makes it feel like school when the space feels like school. I come ready to learn. I've eaten my breakfast, ready to teach. You come ready to learn. When you've eaten your breakfast, maybe you've had some water to hydrate your brain. You've gotten your clothes on. So when you're in your pajamas, that's kind of like not being ready to learn yet. And so coming in with a school brain going. And you come with your tools and your materials. So my tools are things like I have markers because I need to write so kids can see. I have my sticky stuff. That's one of my tools to stick my stuff up on my board. I have my glasses. You know where they are. They're on my face. I've got my materials. Maybe your materials are your books. Maybe you have a notebook that you need to use for school. Those are part of your materials and your tools. So your tools are what you bring into it, and your materials are the things the school has given you. And you need to bring those when you come in to learn at school. Another piece of material you might want to think about being really responsible for is this one. Oops. Your computer. So how are you responsible for that? You need to make sure that when you use it, your hands are clean, that they're not full. You didn't just eat an orange and they're all sticky, or that you didn't leave it off its charger all night, that you charged it last night. And once a week, I need you to make sure that you power all the way off and let your computer sleep for a little bit and then reset itself. That's really important to the health of the computer. That's going to keep you from having to have your mom bring it back to school to exchange it, because it's usually the moms. Not always. So being in charge of your tools, your computer, your books, your pencils, your papers, the things you need to know, and also your apps. Making sure you know how to use your apps, how you get into the app by yourself without needing a big brother, sister, mom, or dad, and this fancy little thing we call a password. So part of computer safety is making sure that you can keep your special, magical, super secret password safe and not give it to other people, and not share it, not have it in a location like stuck on the wall behind you. All right. So be mindful about what's around you in your house. So what's behind me in my house are things I want you to see. I don't have things that should be kept private and personal. So you need to be aware of what's public, what's okay to share, because these videos are recorded and anybody might be able to look at it. And you don't want your secrets shared. So being responsible for what's public and what's private in your life. Coming dressed for school, it makes you a public person and ready for school. If you come in your pajamas, then that's showing a private side of you, and it's not being ready for being a learner. So one of our 5 grizzly behaviors is being responsible, and being responsible will make you the best student you can be. Thanks so much.
Hello, boys and girls. This is Mrs. Hall, and I am disguised as a Grant Grizzly. Today, I wanted to talk to you about learning like crazy during distance learning. I think the most important thing we can do to learn like crazy during distance learning is to be willing to try new things. I know trying new things can sometimes be hard. It can sometimes be frustrating. But once we've done it and we've learned how to do something new, it can also make us feel really good. Boys and girls, we can do hard things. Distance learning sometimes may seem hard, but guess what? We are doing it together. We're trying new things and we are learning like crazy. That is why I disguised myself as this Grant Grizzly. I wanted to lead by example and try something new. Today I learned how to use a new program to animate my voice. It was a little hard, but guess what? I learned how to do it and now I feel super proud of myself. Have you been trying to learn like crazy this year? I would love to hear what new things you have tried during distance learning. Go ahead and tell me all about it in the comments. I can't wait to hear what you're doing to learn like crazy.
Hi, Grant Grizzlies. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Apadaka, and I know, boys and girls, that right now it's a different time. We're not able to be at school, and we're learning online. We're learning on the computer with our teachers. But we still need to be following the bare necessities. So I'm just going to take just a few minutes to talk about one of the bare necessities, and it's be respectful. So one thing you need to remember is to be on time and be ready to participate. So whatever time your teacher has class starting, do your very, very best to be on time and be ready. Be ready to listen and to ask questions and to participate. Another thing is saving your questions for when it's appropriate. So if your teacher's in the middle of the lesson and he or she is talking, then you should wait to ask your questions. Also, you want to make sure you're paying attention and that you're being a good listener, keeping yourself muted unless your teacher tells you otherwise. But that's what it means, boys and girls, to be respectful. And I know that all of us miss being at school, and I can't wait till we can go back and all be together. So Grizzlies, remember, be respectful. Go Grizzlies!
Mr. Zofri here. You might be wondering why I'm wearing this Dodger hat. I'm doing this to illustrate what being a good leader is. The Dodgers have a really good chance of going all the way this year and winning the World Series. And the reason why is because of this guy right here, Mookie Betts. See, Mookie Betts has great leadership skills. And we're going to learn what it means to be a good leader in our online world of virtual learning. So what does a good leader look like in this virtual world of learning? What can you do to show good leadership skills? Well, we can find that out by breaking the word leadership down into its little component parts. When I take a look at leadership, and I see that first part, Lee, and when I see that first part, Lee, I think of somebody. I think of this guy right here, Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee is a famous martial arts actor. He's incredibly flexible, and that's why he was successful at martial arts. And that's exactly what a good leader is. A good leader is flexible. That means that if things aren't going your way, well, you adapt and you adjust and you make adjustments. You don't freak out and you don't, get down on yourself. If you're open up your Chromebook one day and it just, doesn't turn on, you're not going to freak out. You try and solve the problem. Maybe get a new Chromebook. Make sure that it's plugged in each night. You adapt and you adjust. Okay. Not everything's going to work out the way that it would normally work out if you were in the classroom. Things are going to happen. Even teachers might have some technical problems. I know I have occasionally from time to time. And you just adjust and you adapt and you go with the flow. Okay. The second thing a good leader does is they are daring, and that's what that D right there represents. Represents being daring, which means bold, brave, being brave. When Mookie Betts goes for a ball that he is just out of his reach, he may have to leave the ground, and he may have to dive for the ball, and he takes a chance. It could just not work out. The ball could pop out of his glove, or he could end up, maybe unfortunately getting hurt. You got to take a risk in this life, and we're asking you to be brave, and that's what a good leader does. So, if you're you get into your chat and you're like, gosh, I don't know, so many people might be judging me by chatting, by answering the question in the chat. I don't know if I should do that, or gee, I don't know if I should have my video on. Everyone's looking at me. It's okay. Try to be brave. That's what a good leader does. Okay? When I look at the E in leadership, I myself visualize somebody who's encouraging. So the E represents somebody who's encouraging. And, Mookie Betts does that really well. That's one of the hallmarks of being a good clubhouse guy. They don't just think about themselves, and they don't go around, puffing out their chest and saying that they're the best. Instead, they try to make other teammates better. And that's what you got to do. You got to encourage each other. If you notice that there's somebody who's a little shy, encourage them on a little bit. If a teacher is maybe distracted with some of the technology that they're using and they're into their lesson, and somebody's asking a question and you have the answer to that question, don't be afraid of answering it. Okay. That's what a good leader does. They help out and encourage each other along. Okay. If you have the phone number of a friend and that friend is maybe a little late to some of the lessons, talk to them. Say, hey, look, maybe set your alarm a little earlier, and just encourage people to do their very, very best. When I look at the R in leadership, it reminds me of reaching out for help. A good leader, they're not a know-it-all. They're going to ask questions. They're going to say, hey, I need help on this. And I know that at my grade level, the teachers are always asking each other for, advice and for help. Hey, I can't, can you help me out with this little issue that I'm having? And we help each other out. And that's what you need to be doing as students. You help each other out. If somebody's asking a question and you know the answer to that, by all means, give them your thoughts. And so help them out. If they're having trouble uploading a document or downloading a document, say, hey, I can help them out. When I look at the R in leadership, I'm thinking of reaching out for help, but we're also looking at, making sure that our ship reaches its destination. And that's what that ship means right there. It's, you got to help us get to our destination. You got to help us to reach our goals. We got to help each other to do that. Everyone, teachers and parents and kids, we're all helping each other out, and that's why we're all here. Okay. And how can you do that? Well, you just do the right thing. Follow the bare necessities, even when you think people aren't watching. Do that at home. Do that at school as well, and we'll get there. We'll reach our final destination in the end. Okay. So, in summary, be a good leader. Be flexible, encouraging. help the captain out, and we'll reach our destination. All right. Go Dodgers.